Good morning, word nerds! Happy Friday! Yay, we made it through another week. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the wonderful Friday edition. The fabulous Friday edition. I don't know why I said wonderful. That's Wednesdays. The fabulous Friday edition of Word of the Day. My name is Christine. I am a member of the Perry Girls, and each and every weekday morning I bring you a new and amazing word of the day for you to add to your vocabulary so that you can sound smarticles. Good morning, Laurel. I hope you are battened down and ready to go. You poor thing. You've been in my thoughts a lot every time I see the news. Good morning, Deborah. How are you, my sweet friend? All right, guys, let's get to the word of the day for Friday, shall we? Because I am running extraordinarily late, as usual. Good morning, John. I saw you sneak in there. All right, you guys, you ready for this? Hydra. Today's word of the day is Hydra. 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 Thank you, John. And Hydra means persistent or many-sided problem that presents new obstacles with each that is solved. So kind of like, the Hydra in Greek mythology, when you cut off one head, three more grew in its place, and then you cut off another head and three more grew in its place. So you had, a monster that you kept cutting off its head and more would just grow in its place, and it turned, ended up having like 100 heads. So it's kind of the same thing. If you have a problem at work and it's multifaceted, as soon as you solve one problem or one part of that problem, something else presents itself. So almost like a perfect storm of problem solution solving. But that would be considered a Hydra. If you've got a country in which you do payroll, if you've got a problem that has to do with some sort of program software, every time you solve one bug, three more pop up in its place, right? So when it comes to coding, that would be something that would be a major problem. If you are a student and you work really hard at getting one of your class grades up, and then as soon as you get that one up, you notice that the other three are starting to suffer, right? Or another two are starting to suffer, or another one even. So it's every time you have one problem solved, another one pops up in its place. Good morning, Jesus is King. So again, Hydra, Hydra, and it is defined as a persistent or many-sided problem that presents new obstacles with each obstacle that's solved for. So every time you solve one part of the problem, you get something else that pops up. Okay? So that's what Hydra means. Hydra. Persistent or many-sided problem that presents new obstacles with each problem solved. I was actually looking back at my words for this week, and I told you at the beginning of the week that I really didn't think we were going to do a theme. I just looked at the 4 words this week, right? Obviously, I didn't do it on Monday because I took the day off. But we had bovarism, gargantua, crocodilian, and Hydra. If you look at, not exactly like Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law is a little bit different. But if you look at these 4 words, even though bovarism didn't have anything to do with bovine, it's got something that kind of sounds like bovine in it, the B-O-V anyway. Gargantua, right? We had, it kind of sounds like maybe it has to do with animals in some way. Crocodilian definitely had to do with animals, and Hydra definitely had to do with animals. So when I looked back at my words for the week, I was like, I kind of think I had a bit of an animal-based word theme. Even if the words weren't about animals per se, they're all sort of animal-based. So we ended up with a theme this week, and we didn't even know it. So how about that? So anyway, to your point, Jesus is King, about Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law is anything that can go wrong will. Hydra is more like when something goes wrong, you solve for part of it, and then something else, some other part of it will go wrong. So you think you're solving for the problem, and it turns out it's a multifaceted problem. So you solve part 1 thinking that you're solving the problem, but once part 1 is solved, part 2 or part 3 or part 4 goes wrong. So that's the difference between Murphy's Law and Hydra. Okay? So, Hydra. I'm sure you've got an example of it somewhere in your life. Hopefully not if you're living in Florida, because I don't want you to solve for one problem and find out that you've got another, especially with what's about to happen down there. So, blessings to all of you. Be safe. Heed the warnings. If you can't heed the warnings, just batten down. Make sure that you do everything to keep yourself and your family and your loved ones safe. Know that I will be keeping you in my prayers all weekend long. And I do hope to hear from all of you as soon as you have power, as soon as you have cell service. Please check in with me either on Facebook or Twitter or something. Just it doesn't even have to be to me directly. Just put something out there because I will be watching for it, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to get to work. Have a fabulous Friday. Have a fabulous weekend. I will see you on Monday. Hydra, use it, don't abuse it. Be good to yourselves, be good to one another. Know that I love you all. And I will see you Monday morning for the Marvelous Monday edition of Word of the Day. Until then, mwah. Bye now.